library management system using Python and MySQL. I will show you complete coding so you understand how to code your project and what functions you have to use to code your project. Stay connected with me. Make sure that you like this video for its amazing and helpful content. Okay students, let's start. First of all, we have to import mysql.connector as a, we have given it a short name that is a. Okay, and make sure you have installed it in your PC. For installing it, open cmd. Your computer must be connected to internet. Type pip install mysql.connector. Okay, it will be installed in just 10 to 15 seconds. After installing mysql.connector from command prompt, we can import it and we can give it any short name. I have given it a, so it is easy for me. Use it function, right? So now we have to connect our MySQL server. Students, if you have not installed Python integrated development environment, I mean Python IDE or MySQL server in your computer, don't worry, you can install it and you can learn how to install it from the videos given in the description. Okay students, so let me show you. This is how your MySQL server looks. I am writing password here. Okay, so we have to connect our MySQL server by using connect function, and we have to use the function with the short name a, that is our mysql.connector, right? So we have to give host localhost. You have to give your username. In most cases it is root, but if you have given any other username while installing your MySQL server, so you have to write that username here and you have to write your MySQL server password here. And we have given a variable to this connection, right? Now this variable name is con, and with this we have to create a cursor. Cursor will help us to use execute function, fetch all function, so that we can easily execute our queries and we can easily fetch all our data. Now I have given here show database query in the execute function, and here I have given fetch all function. So now all the rows that has database names in my MySQL server will be fetched in variable dl. Okay, let me show you the MySQL query show databases. As you can see, it is a table, and in the column 1 we have all the rows, and in the rows we have database names that I have in my system. Okay, so what we will do next, I have taken all the data in the DL. Okay, it is a table. Now I need to know if my database L1 is in my MySQL server or not, because in database L1 I will create multiple tables to store my data. If the database L1 is present, then we will continue with the further coding. If the database is not present, then we will create the database. Okay, and every time I execute this script, it searches for the database L1. If it is present, then continue with the further flow of execution. If database is not present, then we will create the database and then continue with the further flow of execution. Okay, so I have taken a variable f, it means found, and I have given it a value false, and one by one I am traversing through all the rows that are present in the DL. You know, DL has this table. And what will be the index of first column? It will be 0. Index of second column, if it would be present, it will be 1. Okay. So in the first column, that is at index 0, I am checking if L1 database is present. If it is present, we will use it and we will execute this query, and we will give f a value that is true. Okay, so this loop will execute multiple times. Okay, I mean both of these lines will be executed multiple times, but if database L1 is found, then only one time these three lines are executed. You know that, right? We can create a database of same name only one time in MySQL server. Okay, so if the value of f is still false, then we will create our database, execute our query. Okay, so now you have already understood, we first create a query and we then execute it. So these three tables have multiple columns. First table, books, it has book name, book code, total number of books and subject. As you are watching, this is the column name and this is the data type of column. Varchar means string, and I have given it 50 character limit. Book code, it also has varchar data type. Total, it has integer data type. It means mathematical value, but not in strings. Subject, it has varchar data type. Second table, that is issue, it has student name, who is issuing the book, student's registration number, the book code the student is issuing, and the issue date, right? Third table, submit, student name, student registration number, the book code the student is submitting, and the submit date. Okay, so you have understood all these, and after creating our database and table, we have to commit by using connection variable. Why we commit? Whenever we are making changes in our MySQL server, either we are updating or creating a row, or we are creating a table, anything, means when we are putting some data in our MySQL server, we have to commit the queries, okay, by using connection variable. Now we have connected our Python with the MySQL server, and we have also checked our database is present or not, and if the database is not present, then we have created it. Okay, so what's next? Starting with the password function, there are multiple functions I've created for my library manager. Okay, so when all these lines, like 23 lines, are executed, then the flow of execution is transferred at line 151. Anything that is between these lines, line 23 to line 150, is not executed. Okay, connection transfer from line number 23 to 151. Why? Because all the coding that is present in between these lines are functions, and they are executed when they are called. So first we will call password function, and when we enter correct password, then the main function is called from the password function, and from the main function all the further functions are called when we select our task. Okay, so that is how our flow of execution continues. So let's understand it. I created a password function and I have taken the password from the user by using input. If the password is py143, then I have called main function. If the password is correct, I will display wrong password and I will again call the password function. So I can give any password here like lms143. I can give any password. So I have to write lms143 when I am executing this project. So let me show you. So I enter password lms143. Now I am able to access my library manager. So what's next? The main function is called because I have entered correct password. Now it is displayed as you are able to watch, right? And I will take task from the user like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Okay, suppose you are library manager, you have to add a particular lot of books, or you want to issue a book to a student, or you are submitting a book from a student, or you want to remove particular books from your library, or you want to see all the books in your library. So there are different functions I've created for all these tasks. So let's understand each one by one. I've created here a if else condition. It will work according to the task entered by user. When a user enter 1, I will call add book function. I will explain all these functions one by one. Okay, stay connected. Make sure that you subscribe our channel for more amazing study videos, and please support us. It motivates us all. We continue to make all other project videos so that students get help time to time. Okay students, please like and subscribe. So add book function, task 2 issue book, task 3 submit book, task 4 remove book, task 5 display book. And we have options here to see all the books or to see all the books that has been issued. If I enter any other task, so I will be displayed wrong choice and the main function will be called again. So let's understand it. Add book. Students, I have taken here 5 tasks. You can add any number of tasks. Okay, and if you have any ideas you can comment, right? So I will upload a latest version of library management system. Okay, you can find many more projects in the description. So let's understand each function one by one. So if I enter task 1, that is add books, so this function will be called, its coding will be executed and the main function will be called again, and from there I can again choose any task. So I will be taking these data from the user. As you know that this data will be inserted into the books table, and the books table has 4 columns that I have already explained it to you. What are the 4 columns? Book name, book code, total number of books and subject. So I will take book name, book code, total number of books and subject. I have used here int input because the total number of books will be a mathematical value, right? And all the other 3 data that I am taking from the user is a string value, or we can say varchar value. I will create a tuple of data and I will insert it into the books table 4 times %, because I am inserting data in the 4 columns. And then we have to create a cursor, okay, and then we can execute our queries after inserting SQL query and data. And then we have to commit, and after these lines are executed, my main function is called again, so I can further select any other task. So let's add a book and see how our code works. LMS143. Select task 1, and what should be the book name? 2022 LMS with Gaurav. Suppose this is the book that explains how you can make a library management system. What should be the book code? Suppose I'm giving a book code LMS 2022. Book code can be anything. Okay. Total books, suppose 100 books or 1000. Okay, it depends upon the library and the subject. Python projects. Data is entered successfully. So when I will explain you how you can display your data in Python from MySQL server, then I will show you the book entered by us here. Okay, but now I can show you the book in the MySQL server. As you know, I am using database L1, so I have to use it. Okay, now my database is selected. Let me show you the total tables that we have created. These are the tables, and let's select all the rows from our table books. As you can see, there are multiple books that I have already added earlier in this project when I was explaining it to my students, okay, who study with me. So if you want, you can learn Python or MySQL, or you can complete your computer science or informatics syllabus with me in English or Hindi. Okay, you can find my contact in the description, or you can connect with me on the Instagram if you want. Okay, students. So these are the books, and 2022 LMS with Gaurav. This is the latest entry by us. As you can see, this table books has 4 columns. What will be the index of these 4 columns? Book name index will be 0, book code index will be 1, total index will be 2, and what will be the index of subject column? It will be 3. Okay, so let's continue. So what is the next task? Issue a book. Let's see its coding. Let me copy this code here first and place it here. As you can see, this code is similar to the previous one, but here I have added a function also. Let's understand it. First, I will take the data from the user and I will insert it in the issue table. Create a tuple of data, will create a cursor, will execute our query and data, and will commit the data, print this, and I will display the book is issued to this student name, and okay, it is a student name. So why I will call this function book update? Suppose I am issuing a book 2022 LMS with Gaurav. Okay, so from my original database of library, a book must be subtracted because it has been given to the student. So for updating my original database, I will call the function book update, and in that I will pass the book code that has been issued, and I will pass an integer value that is -1. Okay, so when these lines are executed and the book has been issued to the student, I have to update my database. So for that I will call this function, and these lines are executed. So CO means the code of book and U means -1 here. So what I will do, I will select the column, its name is total from books, and the row will be selected based on the value of book code. So you know, suppose I am issuing this book 2022 LMS with Gaurav. So this row will be selected, and in this row the value 100 will be selected, right? Because I am selecting a particular column. Okay, let me show you. Select total from books. So this particular column is selected, and I can also give a condition here where total equals to, not the total, I should give book code, right? Because I am selecting based on book code. Book code is LMS 2022. Let's execute this query. So a table is selected, and in that table only one column is selected, and from that one column only one row is selected, and the row is whose book code is LMS 2022. So now you understand this pattern, right? So what will happen next? When I have selected this particular row, I mean this particular cell, I will use fetch 1. Okay, you understood this. I have created the query, I have created the data tuple, and I have executed it, right? Let me place cursor here so that I don't get any error. Okay, so now after executing, I will use fetch 1. What fetch 1 will do, it will fetch the first row, and in my case there is only one row is present, so I will use fetch 1. Remember, if you want to fetch the first row from the selected data, you have to use fetch 1, and this row will be stored in my result. So what I am doing here, from that row I will give index 0 because I will be selecting the value from the column, its index is 0. So don't get confused. You will say its index is 2. No, I will give index based on the selected data. Okay, that is this. So index 0, and I will add u. So u means -1 that has been passed here. So from the original value of total books, -1 is subtracted, and the total number of books now is t. So I will update the row, update books, set total is %, where book code is this. Okay, we'll create a data tuple, we'll create a cursor, we'll execute it, and I will commit it because I am making some changes using this query, right? Some students get confused. Do we have to use cursor each time we create a query? I will say yes, because in my experience sometimes I get error, sometimes I don't. But if I use cursor every time I create a query, then I don't get error. Okay, so you have to understand that. Create cursor if you are getting error. Sometimes creating cursor in the initial phase of your project is okay. We don't get any error, but sometimes I get error. So for saving my time, I create cursor. Okay, so I don't get any error. Now this function is executed, my book has been updated. So let's issue a book and let's see the data. As you know that total number of books are LMS with Gaurav are 100. Let's issue this book. Password will be LMS 2022. Okay, LMS. Okay, not the password, password is LMS 143. Okay, so let's issue a book. What is the book name? Remember it, and you also have to know its code. So first of all we will write the student name. Suppose the student name is Amita Agarwal. The registration number of student in the college or the school or the university. For example, this. What is the book code? Book code is LMS 2022. You can confirm it. Okay. When I have taken a book from the library, so the book code is written on the book. You already know that. Date 2015. Any date you can enter, and the month and the day number. Book has been issued to Amit Agarwal. So now let's check the total number of books. So as you can see, now it is 99, where 2022 LMS with Gaurav. Its book code is LMS 2022. Okay. Next task is submit a book. So when I am submitting a book, again I will take data from the user. I will insert this data in the table, will create a data tuple, will create a cursor, execute it, commit, and again I will call book update because I am adding a book from the student to the library. So I will pass the book code that the student is submitting, and then I will pass +1. So again same thing will happen. Total column will be selected, the value of the total number of books will be selected, and in that value we will add u. In this case it is +1 while submitting a book, while issuing it is -1. So the total number of value is added to 1. We will update this value in the table books, okay, where the book code is CU that has been passed from the submit book function. Okay, we will create a data tuple, cursor, executed, commented when we will call main function. So now you know how a book is submitted. Let's execute this task. Task number 3. Let's submit the book. First of all, we have to write the student name, registration number 345, okay, book code that a student is submitting, and the date. So 2015 11/20. Book submitted from Amit Agarwal. So now let's see. Previously the total number of books was 99. Now let's again check it. It is again 100. Okay. So what is the next task? This is remove a book. Suppose you want to remove book from the library. Suppose the book has become old, or the students are not issuing it, or there can be any reason. The case is you want to remove the books. So we will enter the task number 4, and this function will be called. We will take the book code and we will delete the number of rows whose book code is this, that has been entered by the library manager. We will create a data tuple, execute it, make sure that you create cursor here. Let's copy the cursor, execute it, commit, main function will be called. So students, let's execute this function. Okay, password LMS143, remove a book. Which book you want to remove? Let's see, I want to remove Gaurav Maths. Okay, so its book code is 87465. 87465. Look at the first row. Okay, total number of books are 17. Okay, so now let's check our table. As you can see, the Gaurav Maths has been removed from our library manager database. Okay. Now, what is our next task? Now we want to display all the data in our Python. We have to choose task 5. And when I choose task 5, I have further two options. Either I want to see all the books that are present in the library or all the books that has been issued to the students. Okay. So when I select option 5, I have again two tasks. Either I want to see all or I want to see issue. So let's understand it. If I enter 1, so I will be able to see all the books that are in my library. For that, we have to create a query, select star from books, cursor, execute it, will apply fetch all, take all the data in my result and will traverse through all the data. I0 means first column, I1 means second column, I2 means third column, I3 means fourth column, and I means particular row. And you know that all the rows are in my result and each row will be saved in I when this loop is executed. Okay, so let's execute it. Let's select task 1. So now you can see all the books that are in my books table in my database are displayed. Okay, so now I want to see all the books that I have issued to students. So what will be the code? So this time I will select the book that has been issued to the students, but the table I will use is issue table. Create cursor, execute, fetch all, and the traversing by using looping. And again I will call the main function. Let's execute it. Task 2. So now you are able to see all the books that has been issued. Lastly, Amit Agarwal 345 and this date. Okay, so if you are thinking that this is taking so much space, like printing in 4 lines, so you can change it here. So now what you can do, I will create this line as comment, multi-line comment, and I will just print I. Okay, so let's execute it. There are some kind of error. Let's, for removing error, let's remove it. Okay, why the error was generating? It might be because of some indentation or space. Okay, display issue. So now the data has been displayed in these lines. Student name, student registration number, the third column book code, and the date. Right? It's up to you what you want to use here. I will keep this code. Okay, now our code is working very easily and working fine. You can make any changes you want in your project. It depends on you. You can also comment what are the functionalities, what are the things I can add here. So I will upload a new video just like the next version of Library Manager. Okay, make sure that you like and subscribe. There are many other videos explained by me in the description. See you.